Hello everyone, welcome to the Nick Tech Show, and today I'll be showing you around Ubuntu 13.10 Gnome Edition. If you don't know what Ubuntu is, it is a free open source operating system like Windows. It's an alternative to Windows, an alternative to Mac OS. It's 100% free that you can try out. But one thing is something that's unique about Linux and Ubuntu is that you can change the graphical interface. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of what basically a graphic interface is. Let's say you use Windows 8 and you use the Metro or the Windows Tile experience, or whatever they're calling it these days. That interface, that horrible interface right when you load up Windows, and it's that interface, that those tiles and that look is the graphical interface. In Linux or Ubuntu, Linux and Ubuntu, it's still Linux. Overall, it's Linux. You can change the graphical interface to whatever you could possibly imagine. You can change it where it looks just like Windows and different things. And a lot of people say, yeah, I use Windows as a everyday computer, but yet when they do that, and every time a new version of Windows comes out, they go and pay to upgrade it. With Ubuntu, it is as easy as going to the update center and updating it, and you get the new version free. And they're always coming out with new features in Linux. Ubuntu has a release cycle where each year you get two different versions of Linux or Ubuntu. It'd be like the next release is 14.4. That's coming out in March, and then around the fall area you'd see 14.10 out. There was always a release. It's usually the month that it's usually March, and it's usually September you would see one, but sometimes I have seen them come out a little bit later. But other than that, if you use your computer basically just for web browsing and just overall not that much, and let's say you have a computer that's a little bit old, a few years old, and you're thinking about upgrading it, but that costs some money. With Linux, you can basically run it on your computer. It runs on nearly almost any machine. And the good thing about Ubuntu, with Ubuntu, it usually runs right out of the box or right off the disk on any computer. I've never had any issues with installing Ubuntu on any machine. The only part you might run into is installing your graphics card driver. Like if you have like a NVIDIA graphics card or AMD graphics card, then it might be a little bit difficult to install on it. But if you have an Intel graphics card that has internal Intel graphics card, you should be set right off the disk, right when you install it. Like I said, this is the Gnome version, Gnome 3 version. I've always used Gnome, and when Gnome 3 came out, I was a big fan just because I like the user interface and different things. And one thing special about Gnome 3 that it's usually most Gnome 3 desktops they will never have icons. Never have icons. There's ways you can get icons on it, but I've never messed with it. And so let's just start showing you the little bit differences of it compared to Windows. As you can tell, your taskbar is kind of at the top. You have no bottom taskbar with the start button. Basically, in GNOME, the start button is the activities. And to see all your programs you have installed, all you go down to is show your applications, and then this is all your applications that you have installed on your computer. Or you can switch it to where it's frequently and just shows the frequently used applications. Okay, and as you can see, I have Chrome running. Chrome works on it. Mozilla Firefox works on it. Mozilla Firefox comes with it right outside of the box. And installing applications on, and it even has Spotify, you can even get Spotify. Installing applications on Ubuntu is got real simple over the years with the Ubuntu Software Center. Basically, this is your store where you can basically download anything you can imagine to use inside Ubuntu. And since Ubuntu is made free, most of the applications for it are free too. There are some paid applications, but most of them are free. Like, for example, you can get VLC on it. It's free to use, and it's just like a normal store like you would in the Windows store, downloading a Windows app. It has reviews, it has a short description, and it has some extra add-on packages you can put. So overall, it's almost the same thing as the Windows Store. It's almost exactly the same. It's just slightly different. And it's got your X button. You might see there's no minimize button. That's something in GNOME. They don't have a minimize button in GNOME. Most of the time in GNOME, if you want to minimize something or get it off your screen, usually you'd go to activities and just drag this and just throw it into another desktop environment. Over here, basically a desktop environment is basically separate screens. So like I said, I drag that off to my second screen, and I can start a brand new one right here and start over. I can open Chrome in it, opens Chrome and different things, and I can keep on doing that over and over and over, so I can have things organized. Okay, and if I want to add Chrome back to this thing, I just grab it back to that, and it adds it to that. So it's real simple to use, like I said. Also, another thing is you can close them right in the activities interface. Let's say you use Office, Microsoft Office, and let's say you really don't want to pay for it every few years it comes out, but you like the interface. Yes, I use Microsoft Office all the time, but I've learned over time that I can live without Office on a computer. Linux basically comes with a free Office suite, those multiple ones out there. You just have to play around and pick one. There's one that looks almost identical to Office. If you want to download that, it's almost identical to Office. But the one that's stock with most can easily do the trick. Now, a lot of people don't think you can. They say, "Oh yeah, you can do this," but it's not the same format. You can't save in the same format. You can save it in format. You can even set the format to the default where it saves into a Microsoft Office document. You can open it on Microsoft Word and different things. As you can tell, if you this looks like Microsoft Office 2003. The most glorified, most used Office program until they came out with 2007. And 2007, it just got a little bit better and better. The graphical interface got a little bit better and stuff. So now you can just type in anything. And thing. So let's say you want to go save it. You go to File and you go Save As. Okay, and just save it. Test. You can also save it with a password too. But let's say you want it to save as a Microsoft Office document. There's two ways you can take this. You can just go down here and go down to the Microsoft Word 2007, 2010 XML, and it saves it as prefix docx, like normal Office 2007, 2010, 2013 saves as, and you save it, and then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to use this format? And you say use Microsoft format, and it saves it as a docx file. That means you can open this program up on, file on any Office program, any Microsoft 2007, 2010, and 2013. You can open it and it would look just the same. The fonts would look the same and everything. Now let's say you want to make it it saves it by default. You don't have to go in and change it. If you go to Tools and you go to Options and you go down to Load and Save, go to General, and then if you select Text Document, make sure the document type is Text Document. Go down here, select that, and then you can go down here and go to the Presentation Program and save the presentation program just like that. It will be this one, and you just click OK, and then every time you save it, as you can see, you don't get that message that pops up saying you once you use that other format. So there we go. We got to where you save almost $100 a month paying for Office 2013 to not paying that extra $100, and we got to where you're not paying almost $200 for an upgrade, a new version of Windows every few years. So right there, you save you almost $300 by just going to Linux, okay? And it's got other things, like a lot of people say it doesn't have this program, it doesn't have this program. Another good thing about Linux is you can actually run Windows programs if you like to take time. If you'd like to take time and look it up, you can actually run most Windows programs on Linux or Ubuntu if you take time to look at it. Now, I'm not saying that if you're looking for a good alternative, but if you are looking to save money with an older computer, then this would be a great idea to try out. You can also install, it's easy to install along the side with Windows. So you can install it right on the side of Windows, right by Windows without deleting any Windows information and different things. So up here you got your volume, microphone settings, your Bluetooth connectivity if your computer has Bluetooth, your network connection settings, your battery info, which shows user information, and your control panel would be like settings. You click on settings. This is your control panel. You can change the background. You can change the display settings. Everything. Printers. I don't have my printer set up, but most all printers work with it. So that shouldn't be a problem. You can link up your accounts where it keep track with the online the chat client that comes with it, and yeah, and it's got your time. It shows a calendar. I think the file browser is actually okay. Like I said, this is the Gnome version. The Gnome version is different compared to the normal Ubuntu version. So if you don't like this type of interface, you could try out Ubuntu, and then if you don't like Ubuntu's interface, you can find other alternatives to it. And as you can tell, it's it's kinda like just like Windows. Got your picture photo, your download photo, music photo, your trash can, your hard drive, your recent locations. As you can tell, it's almost the same. Almost the same as the Windows Explorer. Like I said, you can get almost any major, if it's really known, like Spotify or Google Chrome, you can get it on Ubuntu. Ubuntu is not for everyone, okay? That I can tell you. But it's worth a try, trying it out, even if you're trying it in VirtualBox. You can load it up in VirtualBox and load it, and see how you like it. But overall, I would really recommend you trying out if you want to try something new, and you're kind of getting away from Microsoft a little bit, because Microsoft doesn't seem to care about their customers a whole lot. They just kind of just throw it out there and say, here you go, spend money on it. They don't really listen to most of the customer suggestions. With Ubuntu, I know Ubuntu listens to the users and tries to make changes, everything all the time for the operating system to make it better. They like to make it better. So if you want to try something new and you're kind of curious, I'd recommend downloading Ubuntu and trying it out. And like I said, it's not for everyone, and yes, it may take some time to get up and going, but after you get it up and going and playing around with it, you will love it. And that's about it for this video. If you want more videos like this, or you want more different videos about me trying different Linux operating systems, just like this video, comment, share this video with friends, and I will see you later.